Have you ever wanted to escape it all and run away to paradise? We did it. So join us as we recap our Aulani adventure, going through Hawaii from Honolulu to Aulani. We're gonna bring you through the lush landscapes, the beautiful beaches, and all of the amenities that the resort has to offer.
All right, so we flew into Honolulu. We stayed for the first few days at Waikiki, kind of in that area. We were a little underwhelmed. Like it was very touristy. It was very busy. Beaches were super crowded. So by the time we got to Aulani, it was a breath of fresh air. But let me back up just for a second for those of you that are maybe considering Waikiki ahead of going to the Ko Olina area. It took us, it's probably $100, whether it was Uber or Charlie's Taxis, to get from Waikiki to Honolulu. But I will never forget when we arrived, we pulled out all our bags, and then walking through that lobby out into that outside kind of area that kind of looks over everything, the lazy river and the ocean. And I'll never forget that moment. It was beautiful.
It was actually quite amazing. And we kind of the whole time, this whole trip was our daughter's grad trip. This is what she went to. She wanted to go to Hawaii. And both of our kids said they would have rather done one fewer night overall to stay at Aulani for all of them, rather than to stay in the Honolulu Waikiki area. And so it was like walking up, there was just a marked difference in just the calm of the resort, the service of the resort, and it felt like the Hawaii we had in our minds when we were planning the trip, where Honolulu, Waikiki area felt very much like a shopping mall with palm trees. It was outdoors. And so it was everything. I think Aulani was everything we hoped Hawaii would be. It did not disappoint at all.
Now we've done a video doing more vlog style of our time there at Aulani. But today we just want to kind of go over the experience and maybe talk a little bit through like the how-tos and kind of the logistics and what to expect with the Aulani thing. So if you have any questions about Aulani specifically, just put them in the comments below. We would love to hear what people are asking about Aulani and what to expect at that resort.
Yeah, so keep in mind that if you are going to travel from the Honolulu airport, which is the Daniel K. Inouye Airport, or if you're gonna go from the Honolulu area, plan to spend 30 to 50 minutes traveling to the west side of the island, west side of Oahu, to Aulani. So because we were coming from a hotel already, we just checked out of our hotel, grabbed Charlie's Taxis to take us to Aulani. So we did arrive before our check-in time officially at 3 o'clock, and they are very ready for you to do that.
So if you stayed at any Disney resort, you know that Bell Services is where you will be able to get your bags. If you're taking a charter or anything, they're gonna deliver it to Bell Services. If you arrive early, you can bring your bags to Bell Services. They will hold onto it, and they will actually bring it to your room once your room is ready, so you can go off and begin to explore everything that that resort has to offer. And so that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, so please make a note for yourself though, to have your swimsuits out in whatever bag you want to keep with you, so that you're not, I mean, Bell Services will let you have access to your bag, but you are gonna wanna change and get into that Waikahole Valley. That whole area is quite amazing. That is what we did.
Remind me, there were some change rooms. There was a place that you could do that, right?
Yeah, there were washrooms that you could change in that were quite sizable, but they, I've heard that they have a lounge. They did not make that lounge available to us when we checked in early, and that could have been because the resort was quite full of all the people like us who were going to be doing Aulani and a Disney cruise. So they just actually might not have had room at that moment in that lounge. But we changed into a swimsuit, headed down into the main kind of pool beach area of Aulani to spend the first little bit of our time. But we're gonna go through our stay a little bit more systematically. We wanna talk about the rooms, we wanna talk about the food all together, rather than giving you a play-by-play of our trip. because you can just watch the vlogs.
Yeah, so we're gonna have that in chapters, so you can just click on the chapters and see what you're interested in. But let's talk a little bit about the rooms. The rooms were actually quite the experience. It was a great experience walking into those rooms.
They were stunning. Now keep in mind, this is a Disney Vacation Club resort. So they have created this entire resort to be like quite a lengthy stay. Of course, every hotel wants you to stay, but because it is Disney Vacation Club, all of those rooms are quite sizable. So your standard room is 382 square feet. It was enormous.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
And in terms of storage, the beds were high, so you could put your suitcases under. The bathroom was quite big. It had a separate kind of area for where the toilet is from where the shower and the sinks are.
Yeah.
And so it's a very well thought out room.
Yeah, with a beautiful soaker tub. It was perfect.
And of course, the view from the balcony, and depending on what side of your room is on, we had an ocean view, and so the view from the balcony was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was quite amazing. Now, there are other rooms. We did tour through them. They had kind of a DVC area open so that anybody could go in there. So there's a 1-bedroom standard suite, which is 750 square feet, or the signature suite, which is 1 bedroom, is 1,500 square feet. And then a 2-bedroom suite is 1,900 square feet, and then they do have their 3-bedroom grand villas that we did not walk through and see. But that 2-bedroom suite is actually a 1-bedroom and a standard put together, and so it was really cool. A lot of space. If you wanted to go with extended family or you have a bigger family, look at renting Disney Vacation Club points and doing that 1-bedroom. So as Lucas mentioned, our room was an ocean view room, which means that not only did we get an ocean view, we also got to look over the Waikahole Valley, including the Olelo room, which had live music every night, which was just surreal and wonderful. But that brings us to the food. So the Olelo room is gonna have some of your like pastries, small platters. It's where you're gonna get all of your specialty coffees while you're there. And it also has all these different Hawaiian words, and it kind of is highlighting the Hawaiian language and Hawaiian culture. And so it's a really cool place to go. We did not eat all of our meals on site because some of the restaurants are extremely expensive. So let me tell you what those ones are. There's Ama Ama, which is a prefix menu. You get a certain amount of courses you can choose from a menu. It starts at $125 per adult before tax and tip, or gratuity, whatever you call it. There is the Kawa'a Luau, which starts at $175 per adult. Of course, it is a luau, as well as your buffet, bento boxes for kids. There is a Makahiki, which is a character meal. Breakfast starts at $50 per adult, dinner at $75 per adult, and then we don't drink, so we also did not try the Wailana pool bar, but we did try something from all of the other spots at Aulani, so let's just walk through that. So we started at the Ulu Cafe, which is kind of the quick service area of Aulani. You can get some like grab and go things, you can get some prepared things like the poke bowl, which I'm sure you're gonna wanna talk about. You can get some kind of food grocery items there, and that's where we had our first meal.
Yeah, so consider your meals, even your quick service meals, are gonna be $25 per person. That's kind of a minimum. So we're a family of 4, so just over $100 per meal in terms of the quick service. Now, I do want to say that there are some options off-site as well. And so it's actually a very quick walk. We'll show some footage of kind of where you're gonna go, but it's a very quick walk to an ABC store where you can pick up snacks and stuff for your room at a much more reasonable kind of price point than some of the stuff that you'll find in these quick service areas. One thing that we did do, we did get these Aulani specific mugs. And these were for refills on all of our drinks during our stay at Aulani. Highly recommended. We opted to go with these stainless steel ones, and so they were great.
Yeah, and they were about $5 more per mug than the plastic ones. If you've been to Walt Disney World, they are the exact same style refillable mug as Walt Disney World has. But these have been really awesome quality so far. We've been home for a few months. We've dishwashered them and it's still fine.
They're holding up. They're holding up good.
And it was much more insulated for both hot and cold beverages than those plastic ones. And if you've tried them, you know what I'm talking about. And you don't have that funky plastic taste in your coffee. So definitely worth the investment. Now, Ulu Cafe was one of the only places we went that accepted cash. All of the rest of the dining on Aulani property either required your room card or a credit card. So keep that in mind if you are someone like me that prefers to do your vacation with cash.
I'm super interested. How many of you are out there like Lisa who like to have this envelopes of cash on trips instead of just using card or credit card or whatever, which I think personally is safer and more efficient. But just let me know in the comments. I'm really interested how many people do carry cash like that.
Even if you don't, help me out. Say that you do. So Ulu Cafe was a great spot to go. You really loved that poke bowl.
Yeah, the poke bowl was very good. It's probably my favorite meal on site at Aulani in terms of quick service. It was very, very good.
And you had it multiple times.
I did. I had it basically every lunch.
Yeah, and then we went and got a few snacks from there. Like we had mentioned, the Lily Koi bar. If you go to Aulani, that Lily Koi bar, it's passion fruit. It was so good. Now, we mentioned the Olelo room is where you're going to get your specialty coffee. You're going to be able to get some pastries and some appetizers throughout the day. And that's just kind of a fun spot to stop in. But then at the pool deck specifically, they have Mama's Snack Shop and the Papalua Shave Ice. Now, save your money on the shave ice, guys.
Yeah, we have strong feelings on the shaved ice. We had shaved ice in Waikiki, like vintage, good, authentic shaved ice. Shaved ice at Aulani, literally a snow cone. Yeah. It was very disappointing. Very, very disappointing.
And expensive.
Yeah.
And melted very fast, and you get this like flat thing and a spoon.
It wasn't shave ice.
It just wasn't it. So save your money. They do have Dole Whips and other things you can get something like that instead, especially Dole Whip. You're in Hawaii. But the Mama Snack Shop was just your basic, they had coconut shrimp, chicken tenders, mozzarella sticks, kind of like
very kid-friendly though, very kid-friendly stuff. So if you're looking for stuff that your kids will eat that are a little pickier, like Mama's Snack Shop kind of was a spot.
Yeah, and it was good, but it's just chicken tenders and fries. But we grabbed it for lunch one day while we were sitting by the pool, and it hit the spot, and no complaints.
And where did we go for breakfast?
We went to Off the Hook for breakfast, and that was...
It was good. Again, $25 per person. That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But it was actually a very good breakfast.
And huge portions.
Yeah.
I wish that we had kind of known that you could easily split entrees. Our daughter got the banana bread, and it was a box, like I'm not joking, like this, with a few slices of banana bread, and the rest was chock full of fruit.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of grapes.
So you could almost like between your party, like pick a few things and then just split it and have a lot of kind of almost a tasting during your breakfast.
Yes, but everybody loved what they got. Again, you can go watch the vlog to see what everybody specifically got. But it was well worth the money. And again, you just bring your mug down. You can get coffee there for free in the morning, and then that just knocks that off of the price of it. And then the last thing that we ate was we got some chocolate and coconut dipped pineapple spears out of Little Opihi's Beach Kiosk. So and I'm probably saying that wrong.
Yeah, so this is right down on the beach. You're gonna walk all the way down past the showers, down into the beach area. It's right there on your right-hand side. Yeah. And they were an experience.
They were so frozen.
Honestly though, they're probably the best value snack on site.
Yes, because you got two massive spears of pineapple. It was refreshing because it was cold. It was healthy if you don't count the chocolate it was dipped in. It was just walk around a little bit. We tried to eat it right away, and those things were frozen solid. But let's go back into Aulani and let's just chat quickly about the shopping. I mentioned that you can find some things at Ulu Cafe, if you are staying in one of those DVCs, because the 1-bedrooms and up all have their own kitchen, so you can save some money eating out with that by cooking your own food. But there's another spot that you can get kind of some of those grocery items if you forgot shampoo. Well, you don't need to get shampoo, it's in your bathroom, but if you forgot sunscreen or anything like that, and that is Kalepa's store. And that was kind of a fun little store to go in. It was the most kid-friendly of the shopping experiences. It had kind of all of the...
This is where you're gonna find your plushies and your your clothes, like more of the chill kid stuff.
Yes, or the very Alani themed, like Disney-esque clothes. Because there's also Hale Manu. Again, we're probably butchering all of these Hawaiian words. But that was like a little bit more of the upscale adult clothing.
Yes, upscale adult clothing, different decorations, different things for your home.
Yeah, like your Dooney and Burks, your Pandora, we're all over in that one. And they're kind of just kitty corner from each other. So you can bring your kids to the one. I don't know if I'd want, we traveled with teenagers, so it wasn't an issue. I don't know if I'd want to bring kids in the other one. There were some really expensive items at like...
Within arm's reach, for sure, yeah.
So be warned. But then there's one other little hidden nook shopping spot, and that is the Lava Shack, and that's right across from Mama's Snack Shop, right on the pool area. And so if you do need swim diapers or swimsuits or anything kind of swim gear related, it is gonna be there. It's probably in the other shops too, but you can find it right there as you need it. But like they're selling things like towels. You do not need to buy a towel at Disney. They provide them.
Unless you want Alani themed towels.
Yes,
I mean, that's
for sure. If you want a souvenir, then grab that. But if you think you need it for like hanging out by the pool, you don't. There are towel stations that you can go to at any point and they will give you a towel. So let's talk about some of those things to do, like the towel station, like the pool chair policy, because most of your time you're going to be spending likely around water.
Yeah, so this was the biggest stressor because the first day we got there kind of midday. Everyone who's already at the resort had already claimed their chairs, their loungers. So when we got there, we couldn't find a single chair that was available or open. So then we started asking like, okay, what's the protocol? How do you get a chair? How do you that becomes kind of so you're kind of set for the next day. And so the policy, do you remember all the details?
I remember.
We're gonna put, I'm gonna kind of move to a video of it because I did take a video of the policy itself.
Yes.
But it actually worked out pretty well.
It was great. So there is a certain time in the morning, I want to say 9 o'clock, but that might not be accurate. So again, we'll get this video up. But you have to have somebody physically at your chairs. You can't just go down at 6 in the morning, put bags on the chairs and then call it a day. You have to have someone physically there. After that time, they are going to do this special fold of your towels if you haven't been at your seat within an hour.
Yes, if you come back within the window of the next hour, just take that towel off and put it down and they'll know that you are still using that chair.
Yes, if you are not, they will remove all of your items and bring it to the closest towel kiosk, which are staffed. So it's not like they're leaving your items somewhere unsupervised. And then you just have to collect it from them.
So you cannot just put your stuff down on chairs and then just leave it for hours. It will be picked up and it'll be taken to a towel kiosk. So come back about every 45 minutes or so. And just make sure you pull the towel off the top of the chair and then you're good to go.
And then you're good to go. But that Waikahole Valley it's incredible. It is just so much fun. There's a zero depth entry pool that, I love zero depth entry pools because it lets you get accustomed to the water rather than just jumping right in. But that is where you're gonna find your 2 main water slides, one tube slide and one body slide, as well as the Waikahole stream, which is the lazy river.
The lazy river. I actually regret, it took me a minute to actually go into it. These guys went into the first day.
Yeah.
I didn't go in until late the next day. just because I'm not a big water guy, I'm not really, but man, I actually enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. So I kind of regret not going in the first day and just really taking advantage of that thing. It takes about, what, 15 minutes to get all the way around it if you're just chilling. Now, I always looked up and saw my family just gone. They just didn't have the patience for it. But if you're just chilling, probably 15 to 18 minutes to kind of circle all the way through that lazy river. It's just a great time.
Yeah, so the tube slide actually exits right into the lazy river. So if you want, you can just water slide right in and then enjoy it. But there are waterfalls, there are like little spray areas. Like it is a lazy river, there's a cave, there are bridges you float under. So it's not just like going around, there's some elements to it that add some excitement.
And they've designed it very well with the greenery and the hedges and different things, so you don't feel like you're in a lazy river where you're just on display for everyone, which can kind of be a little weird and awkward sometimes at some lazy rivers where just people are walking by you like the whole time. This is, you feel a little more of a privacy as you're kind of going through it. It's very well designed.
Yeah, and with that, there were like hot tubs kind of strategically placed in all of these different exit points from them. But just like they've kind of enclosed this lazy river, they've enclosed these hot tubs too, where you're kind of having to watch for the stairs to find your way to a hot tub, which was great because again, if you want to relax in a hot tub, you don't really want people just, you know, flitting back and forth around it. You want it to be quiet and serene, and they were really great. Now there is a few adult only spots, like the infinity. If you've seen videos of Aulani, they have some infinity pool areas that are kind of between a pool and a hot tub temperature, but that is going to be 18 plus. So that was lovely. We sent the kids off and we just went and relaxed in there for a little bit, which was great. But then they have the Kamaka Grotto, which when we were there was a family-friendly pool. They have changed that to an adult-only pool, which is really cool because it does actually feel like you're in this like underground cave grotto area, and it's very neat.
Now, if you have little kids, they do have something for you as well. So
yeah.
What's it called? Because I'm not even gonna begin to try pronouncing.
So they have the Kiki Cove pool and they have the Menehune Bridge, which we're going to talk about Menehune in just a second, but it is kind of this water play area that has been created by these little mythical creatures, the Menehune. And so there are lots of little antics because they are mischievous little creatures that kids can enjoy. Now they did have it shut for part of our trip, so if you are planning a Disney Aulani vacation, just maybe keep an eye on those refurbishment schedules.
Now there's one more kind of big body of water that is at Aulani, and that is the Ko'olina Lagoon. So that is the Pacific Ocean. And so there are lounge chairs all along the beachfront. And so if you get there early, get kind of set up with those, that's a great spot. The ocean is, of course, beautiful.
It was cold when we were there, though.
It was chilly. It was beautiful, beautiful. And there's a walkway all along kind of that resort area. There are other resorts in that area, so just be mindful of that. But beautiful oceanfront spot. And
in Hawaii, all of the ocean is public. So just keep that in mind, that it isn't just Aulani guests. Anyone is able to go to those Ko'olina lagoons. There are multiple of them, kind of one station in front of every resort. But just keep that in mind, that it isn't just this private spot for your family or the guests of the hotel. Obviously keep an eye on your kids. So right at the ocean, there is Makiki Joe's, which is where you're gonna be able to find all of your water rentals. Now, you can rent sand toys there, which is very cool. It's complimentary for resort guests, but you'll just check them out and then check them back in, as well as your non-motorized water sports. Those are gonna be complimentary for you, and then you can add on things if you want. So if you wanna go on a catamaran. You can get kind of all of the rental information and all of the things there. Now, I did say that all of the non-motorized sports are complimentary, and that's not entirely true. Your snorkel gear and your stand-up paddle boards are going to be an extra cost, but if you want boogie boards or something like that, just go to Makiki Joe's and you'll be able to have fun all
And they
day.
also have some fun stuff like ladder ball, and
Yeah.
I believe they had cornhole. I feel like I remember seeing cornhole. My memory's a little fuzzy right now. But like different things you can play together with your family. You can ask them, they'll set it up, and yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you could spend a day at the pool area, a day at the ocean area, easy. Now there are a lot of other things to do away from the water. We are gonna have not probably a complete list, I'm sure we'll miss something, but we're gonna have a long list of things you can do at Aulani in the description, because there is way too much for us to tell you. But we do want to tell you a few of the things that we did experience. Now, I mentioned the Menehune, and they have obviously set up that play area, but they have set up other little fun things for you to see all around the resort.
Yeah, so the Menehune Trail was actually a very fun little activity.
Yeah.
We did it together. Our kids weren't interested, but if you have younger kids, they would love it. They had a lot of fun. It's like a treasure hunt. You go to
There's a community room.
Yeah.
The Pow Hana room.
And you'll be able to get an iPad, and they will kind of get you set up and started. And then each one is different. So you can do it multiple times with different things that you're seeking.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some magic along the way. So that's actually a really fun activity to just kill some time.
It was very, very cool. So they also have an art tour and a nature tour that are alternating days. And just based on when we arrived and when we left to go to our cruise, the only one that we were able to do was the art tour. And it was really cool to hear all about the contemporary pieces of art, the inspiration behind each of them, most of them highlighting different Hawaiian artists. Aulani just has so much Hawaiian art to see, but to have a very knowledgeable guide kind of explaining the different significance was very cool.
And the guide that we had, like, he was unbelievable. Like, just so entertaining, so likable.
Yeah.
And he also did the story time, which is another activity that you can do.
Yeah, so they have a fire pit. Just if you're going down towards the ocean, it's gonna be on your left-hand side by Off the Hook, kind of on your way to Auntie's Beach House. And they have that set up every night where this like fire roars to life, and one of the uncles, in our case, our guide from the art tour, does this incredible story about some Hawaiian legend. So we had one about Menehune and building a canoe, and then we had another one about a princess and some of the flowers that are native to Hawaii, and both of them were incredibly entertaining.
Yeah. Well, in terms of off-site, there are some things to do around Aulani as well. And of course, one of them that you're gonna see as soon as you drive up is the golf. Yeah. And so you can book your golfing at the Ko'olina Golf Club through Aulani. I'm sure you could probably book it direct as well, and I'm sure it's very busy. It seems like a very popular kind of destination for golf, so book that well in advance.
Yeah, now there are some excursions that Disney does offer through them to different spots on Oahu, but you can just go on your own. There is a car rental kiosk in the Aulani Resort, and so right now on Aulani's website it says that it's Alamo. However, Enterprise says that they are the official Aulani car rental company, so who knows what it will be when you go. If you have been just recently, let us know what car rental company you rented through. But then you can just do a day. Like, you can rent a car for the day, go do a day trip to the North Shore or to go into Honolulu, whatever you want, and you don't have to pay the parking fee to rent a car and just keep it at the resort, which I think is $35 a night.
Now, if you do go to Honolulu, if you go to Waikiki, few things you have to do. Of course, they're all around food. First is Island Vintage Shave Ice. Very good.
Yeah, so it is like this kiosk. It doesn't look like it's gonna be.
It's outside on the sidewalk, yeah.
But it is so good.
It's fantastic. The second thing, Steak Shack. Google it, look it up. It's going to be right on the beach. Steak, it's a hole in the ground. There's nowhere to sit.
It's literally a window in a wall.
You kind of stand at a little table, but it is unbelievable. So Steak Shack, put that on your list. Make sure you get there.
Yeah, and then the last thing that we did that was so good was the Kona Coffee Purveyors. And it was, again, right by that shaved ice stand, just up an escalator. And every day we walked past it and there were lineups going down the stairs of this escalator. It was worth it. The macadamia nut latte was, guys, I don't have words for it. It was so good. And so it's worth the wait. Just wait in the line. Yeah. Now that whole kind of Honolulu, Waikiki area is very cool for a day trip.
Yeah.
It would have been a great excursion from Aulani, but to spend 2.5 days there,
which is what we did at the front end of our trip,
it kind of got old fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, so definitely worth leaving Aulani to go and see different parts of Oahu. It was very cool. Now we did our Aulani trip as part of our pre-cruise stay at Oahu because we did get on the Disney Wonder from Honolulu going to Vancouver, and we have some things that I think would be good if we did this again. I wish that I knew. So the first is that Disney will arrange transportation from Aulani to your cruise ship in the Honolulu port, and they will charge you for it.
Yeah, I don't know if we would do anything different because
No.
we actually booked an Uber for our party of 4, and it was significantly cheaper, and it was so easy. And the transportation that Disney provided was,
it was gonna be $60 one way per person.
yeah,
And
it
if
just
you're
didn't make any
used to-
sense.
Yeah, if you're used to Disney transportation, it's about $35 usually one way. So for a family of 4, that wasn't worth it. Now, if you were a party of 2, it might be worth it for you to just be able to give them your bags and not have
Yeah.
to worry about it again. But you make that decision for you. So there is transportation, you're on a coach bus, and once you get there with your bus, you go right on the ship. So that is kind of a little bit of a perk. Now, if they do offer a promotion with your cruise, which is what happened with us, we had already booked Aulani, and then they offered a promotion, it was worth it. It just upgraded our room to just a slightly better view than what we were gonna stay. We're gonna stay on the other side overlooking the mountains. And so it was a win-win. It didn't cost us any more to do it, but it was kind of helpful in that way. The drawback of that is that we didn't get our reservation number until a couple weeks before our trip. And that meant that a lot of the things that you could book in advance were gone.
You need that reservation number to book some of your eating kind of experiences and different things.
Yeah, and some of the activities that
Yeah.
Aulani offers, they open spaces up in advance, just like they do at Disney World. And we missed out on those. Now, we didn't have very long, and so it was kind of one of those things where, you know, we didn't get to do it. It's okay. We had a lot to fill our time, but if we were staying a little bit longer, that would have been quite disappointing.
Now, rumor has it, with the onboarding of new ships into the Disney fleet for Disney Cruise Line, that this Hawaii itinerary, which has kind of been off and on a little bit over the years, may become a little more of a staple route. That's the hope. So if you see that on the calendar, on the cruise calendar, highly recommend. We had a great time doing Aulani and then doing the cruise to Vancouver.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
And it was very neat to be at Aulani before our cruise. We met so many people who were on our cruise. And so if you are a social butterfly, that'll be great. If you are highly introverted, maybe not. But it was kind of fun to see everyone's excitement. It was a little palpable the morning of checkout as we were all making our way towards the port. So overall, Aulani, I would go back.
It was a fantastic experience. My only gripe with Aulani is because it's such a standalone resort, I do wish there were ways of making it feel more like a all-inclusive experience. Unfortunately, they don't offer anything quite like that. I think they should. Disney, listen up. Any of your standalone resorts that aren't kind of connected to parks or kind of major experiences, think about creating packages that make it a little more all-inclusive. But other than that, it was a great experience.
Like you're thinking more like having a Disney dining plan option
Or,
that you could like add
or
on,
just
right?
make it all-inclusive. Like every other resort in the world.
Except for in Hawaii. I don't know that there are any in Hawaii. But yes, it was great. Budget for that food. It is very expensive, or just get that walk in every day. Head over to Starbucks, head over to ABC. Plan to eat a little bit more in your room if you get something with the kitchenette.
Yeah.
But yes, again, fantastic trip. We would definitely go back. In fact,
So if you've-
I might already want to.
If you've been to Aulani, let us know what your experience was like. If you have any questions about Aulani, let us know. We would love to kind of answer any questions that you have. But in the meantime, we're Maple Mickey, putting the magic back into your Disney vacation. See you guys.